Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time to be here, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're all doing okay. I hope you're all fine. My name is Prosi. If it's your first time to be here, I come from Uganda. If you've been here before, you know my story already. And I've been doing some videos about the K1 visa. And today I came back with another video, and this video has been asked so many times in my inbox, and I'm going to address it here, guys. People have been asking about the documents that are needed for you to go for your interview, and I'm here to tell you that these documents are always sent to you by the embassy even before you go for your interview. You can just check in your emails. These things are always given to you, and it's always up to you to prepare in time and be ready before you go for your interview, and make sure you have your documents already. First of all, one of the documents is your passport, and your passport is the most valid thing. It is the most important thing for you to have. I told you guys here, when you're doing your K1 visa or any other visa, as long as you know you're going to travel, make sure the moment you start applying for these things, you have your passport ready so that you don't get disturbed when your visa is already approved and you don't have your passport anyway. So what I'm saying is your passport should be ready. The moment you start applying for visas and stuff, your passport should be the one thing that you have with you, like always. I mean, your passport should be valid and it should not be expired. If you take an expired passport, everything is not going to go right. So you have to have a passport that is 6 months before expiring. You know, if it's expiring in the next 6 months, it's okay. If it's expiring in 4 months, it is not a valid passport. So your passport should be valid. Another document you should have is Form DS-160 confirmation letter online, and when you get that, you have to go with it on your for your interview so that they can know that you are really confirmed. After completing this online, you'll get a confirmation letter that will take to the embassy when you're going for your interview. So this is a non-immigrant form that is supposed to be filled online. So another document is Form I-797. In this one, you get it to show that you have really, that your petition has been approved, and you get this one from the USCIS. So they will send it to you, and you have to go with this one when you're going to do your interview. Don't leave these documents. They are really needed, and the embassy sends them to you before even you go for your interview. It is also called the Notice of Action. So the USCIS sends it to you, and you go with it for your interview. It only shows that your petition was approved, so that they can know that before you go in for your interview, actually your petition was approved. So that's why this document is also important, like any other document when you're going for your interview. Another document that you need is Form I-134, and this is so important, and this is filled by your petitioner, the one who lives in United States. That's what I mean. So you as a beneficiary, you have nothing to do with this one, and this one has the bank stuff that shows that this person is really able to take care of when you go to the United States. It has his taxi things, his taxes, anything concerning like financial, bank statements, the financial stability, anything to show that he can really take care of you. He has a job, you know, that stability. It means that this person can really take care of you. So you have to get these documents before even you go for your interview. Let your fiance send these documents to you so that you can print them and go with them for your interview. Don't leave out anything, because they need these things. They need to be sure that when you go to the United States, your fiance can be able to take care of you for the time you're going to spend there. So evidence of relationship, they need everything to show that your relationship is real, it's not fake, it is based on love, it is based on everything, and your family knows about it, your friends know about it. So the proof of relationship can mean maybe pictures on your vacation. If you visited your friends and families, they will need those pictures. Text, maybe you use emails, you use your WhatsApp, you use a messenger, maybe Telegram, anything. You just have to bring in things, pictures from different occasions that have happened. So they just have to know that this relationship is really real and you've met in person and you've done things in person, you know, this is the proof of relationship. They want to know that it is real. It is not fake, but everything you said is actually real. So that's why you have to keep all the documents. Don't delete those messages. Don't delete those calls, video calls, anything, you know, anything to show them. You just have to bring it, and yeah, everything will be proved right. Another document is your birth certificate. You guys, if you've been on my channel here, you know what I went through to get my birth certificate from Uganda. I passed my interview on spot, but I wasn't approved on spot because I was lacking a birth certificate. You know, I had an old one. So this is what I want to tell you guys. When you're doing anything concerning your visa, make sure your documents are updated, your birth certificate, your police letter, your passport. Make sure everything is up to date. Do some research and know what is happening in your country. Even if you're living abroad, make sure your things are the same like everyone who is from your country. So your birth certificate is so important. So if your birth certificate is in another language that is not English, it has to be translated. You know, if it is maybe your language from, maybe you're coming from some country and your birth certificates are printed in your country, it has to be translated into English, because that is what is understandable by the embassy. Remember, you're going to an American embassy, so those people understand, they understand English. Though when you go for your interview, this is actually what I saw people who are being translated. If you go there and you're speaking French, it's French you understand more, and you're going for your interview, you don't know English, I saw people who are interpreting for them. If you're doing an interview in French, they could call someone, and I saw that. I saw some people who are speaking in a certain language I didn't understand, I didn't know where they were coming from, but at least they called someone to interpret, and then the interviewer was getting everything. Translate it in English and bring the original one from your country in another language, then in English. So bring two of those birth certificates. That's what I mean. So another thing is the police letter, guys. Don't forget your police letter. They have to make sure you don't have any criminal records. You know, Americans, they don't want to bring people who have records of, you know, you did this. So make sure you have a clearance letter from the police where you're living. I was in Dubai and I got a Dubai police clearance letter, and as well I got a Ugandan police letter. You know, I wasn't even in Uganda, but I had to find ways, because it says you have to get both certificates, police letter, clearance certificates, you know, from the countries where you've lived. It says you have to bring police letters from the countries where you've lived for 6 months. For 6 months, and as long as you're above 16, you know. So if you've lived in Uganda, I lived in Uganda when I was 16. I lived there my whole life till years ago. So I had to get that from Uganda, and then I had to get the one in Dubai because I had lived in Dubai for years as well. So they needed 2 of them. But one thing I want to say also is my police clearance letter in Dubai was printed out in Arabic, you know. So I had to translate it, because there are so many companies there that do translate these things in English. You don't just write it yourself, no. So there are companies that do translations. I had to call those guys. They picked it from where I was, they took it, and then they translated it. So it comes out so real, but just in English, you know. So when I was going for my interview, I took the Arabic police clearance letter and then the English translated one, you know. So I don't know why it was printed in Arabic, because there is some other time I went for police clearance letter. I think it was about my visa or something. I got it in English, but this time round it came out when it was in Arabic. I think it was me when I was filling it online. I forgot to choose which language, you know, online. And yeah, it came out in Arabic because of the mistake I made. So make sure I look into that. And when it comes in that, I think they took like 78 dirhams to interpret it for me in English, to translate it for me in English, and then they delivered it where I was. So I took both of them. So anything that is translated, take the original one and the one that is in English. Another document you need to go with for your interview is the medical results. Remember, we have to go for your medical. You have to go for your medicals. They do so many medicals and stuff. We've gone through that already. So now this is the time for you. One thing I always tell people is that don't, when you're scheduling your interview, make sure you have enough time that allows you so that you can get your results before your interview. Because I don't want you to go for your interview when you don't have your results at hand. Yes, at hand. I don't know how it works. Maybe some people, that the embassy needs your results there before you go, whereas some people, you pick them and you go with them yourself. So these things differ. That's what I've heard. But me, I will say everything according to what I know, because I'm not an immigration lawyer. I'm not even close to that. I'm just saying these things because of my experience, because of what I went through. So what I'm saying is, make sure before you go for your interview, you have your results already with you. You go when you have your results, because if you go without your results, it's going to disturb you, it's going to delay you. You might not even do your interview because they don't have the results. So it's always good to make sure before you go for your interview, your medical results are already out. You have to take 2 passport photos, 2x2. It's 2x2. That is the size they need. So you have, but 2 of them, you have to take 2 of them, and the size is 2x2, or it's called size or style. Let me say that's the American. So make sure you have those and they are recent. Take them just when they are still recent. Don't bring in those that you took 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Bring the ones that are recent so that it's you look like you. So me, one thing I did, I took those photos when I had my hair out, my African natural hair out, and what I did, I said I should go like that. That's how I went. I didn't put on any wig, I didn't do any braids, I didn't do any hair. I went with the same hair that is in my pictures, so that they don't start asking, is this you? Are you the one? Because you've seen these things happening. You have a wig on, you have that big huge wig, those African ladies, you know how we do it. So you want to put on that big huge wig of yours, and then in your pictures you had maybe braids, or maybe you had your natural hair, and this will be like, are you the one? So me, I just wanted to go the way I took the pictures. Proof of termination prior to your last marriage. If you were married before, that's what it means. So if you're divorced and maybe your partner, your previous partner also died, you have to bring the death certificate. You have to bring the death certificate. You have to bring so many documents. I don't know much about that, but you have to show a lot of things to show that really you're going to marry this person. The other person is not in your life. You separated already. There is nothing that is connecting you. If you have children, you have to bring maybe their pictures, their names and stuff. That is another thing that I'm not so sure. I don't know much about how to go through the K1 visa when someone is divorced or something. But I saw so many cases that day that were rejected, so many cases that didn't go through because of that part of being divorced. So if you're out there and you're doing K1 visa on that part of you, maybe the partner, one of you guys is divorced, make sure you have all the documents that are needed. Because what I saw that day, most of the people who had divorced or something like that, they were denied because they had information that was not enough from the other previous partners. They needed to sign something and they didn't sign it, and it is needed, and goodness. So yeah, that is what it means. It's the visa interview appointment. Remember, when you're going to do your interview, you have to pay and those things. So they want you to print it out and come with it and show them that it's you who made that appointment and you're ready for your interview. So make sure you go with your visa interview appointment confirmation so that they know that you really applied for this, and yeah, your interview is approved and you're going to do that interview on that day. So that's what it means. You just have to print it always. The email is always sent to you. It's So just have to print it out and go with it when you're going for your interview. So another document that is needed is the payment, the proof for the payment that you really paid for the K1 visa, or you can call it the visa fees, you know. So that payment for the K1 visa, it is also you also have to show it. Remember, when you're starting this whole thing, there is that amount of money you're supposed to pay and everything. So you have to print that as well and put it in your file when you're going for your interview to show them that you really paid the fees, the K1 visa fees and everything that is needed. You have to show that you paid for the K1 visa fees application. That is it. Any additional documents that are needed, you have to maybe contact your embassy wherever you are, talk to them. If it means you going there, if it means you doing anything, contact them and ask them, tell them, okay, I have all the documents that I need. Is there anything that I should come with? Do you guys need anything? These things are so easy. You just have to call maybe customer care center at the embassy. They will tell you other documents that are needed apart from the ones they sent to you. If there is anything, those are the additional ones that are supposed to be needed. So make sure that prepare yourself, go through your things. Don't just throw your things, organize your files so well, organize all your documents. Make sure you have all the documents I've mentioned here, and make sure you have all the documents they have sent you, because they always send this email and it always has all the documents that are needed. So I wish you all the best if you're going for your interview. I pray everything goes through. Take care. May God bless you guys. If you've not subscribed, if you've not liked this video, kindly subscribe and like and comment. I'll be so happy to see you here, guys. Take care. May God be with you. I love you so much. Bye.